This is a good school. The coolest school in Oakland. Certainly the most beautiful building. You guys know this building was tan at one point, right? Tan and brown. And what I wanted, what us old grads wanted, was to restore it to its original color, the way it is now. You guys see the rosettes above the door? There are rosettes on top. You guys see the wainscoting on the walls? You guys know what wainscoting is? It's the paneling on the walls. They used to have really good wood there. Teak. The bathrooms all had marble in them.
It's North Oakland. North Oakland's a beautiful place. You go outside at daylight today, and here's daylight. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and it smells like fresh air.
There's a cafeteria downstairs. Smells like good food. Yeah, hamburgers. You know you got hungry from the smells in the cafeteria.
Hot dogs.
Weed. Clorox.
Sweat.
Sneakers.
B.O.
Throw up.
After sophomore year, I had my first experience with what I felt were prejudiced teachers. I thought my English teacher was prejudiced. I thought my history teacher was prejudiced. I thought my geometry teacher just wasn't helpful. And so I had an experience with my history teacher, and in this history class, all the Negroes were light-skinned like me. And in this particular class, I just so happened to be the only one. And so Mr. Marsh made this statement. He said that Africans benefited from slavery because it took them from savagery and brought them to civilization. And so I said, wait a minute, you can't make that statement. That's preposterous. You know, I'm a Price. I had a big mouth. And I said, you can't say anything like that. What the hell? And he said, did you just say hell? And I said, yeah, you can't make that statement. What the hell are you talking about? And you know, my dad was a scholar. He was a self-taught scholar. He was black, white, and Indian. He was born on an Indian reservation. And so I bring up how Ivan Van Sertian came before Columbus and all that. Now, of course, I'm a smart ass, and I got kicked out of the class. I got an F in history, and then I had to make up. I got an F on an English term paper because my English teacher didn't feel that the poet was relevant. It was Langston Hughes. She had never heard of Langston Hughes.
Students. It is a challenge for students to learn to believe in themselves after repeated failures. But the adult world just tend to have a lot of patience or nurture or care for those that don't believe in themselves. So teens are stuck with the cold, harsh reality that they got to get it together as quickly as they can. And they're under a lot of pressure.
Yesterday, I had an interesting conversation with a bunch of state and local and school district elected officials. And a question came up about, and it kind of goes back to the question about Tech being a segregated school. You know, 10 years ago, there was definitely a lot more of that than there is now. There was definitely a reality around low expectations for certain students, mostly our black and brown students, and higher expectations for students who are Asian and Caucasian. So that came up yesterday. And the question was asked, well, I heard that students of color don't have as much access into getting to academies. And I had to correct that assumption because there's only one academy where there's an academic expectation, and that's the engineering academy, where, you know, students have to be ready for Algebra 2 in the 10th grade. And no, that academy does not look anything like the demographic we have here at Tech. And so we had this conversation. You know, is it a myth? Is it an assumption? Is it a reality? Is it all these things? It is where we are now, really trying to break down those barriers so that all students have access. And I don't want to use the engineering academy as an example of this, but we have to find ways to get the word out to more students that even though your math skills aren't, take the math out of the equation. If you're interested in engineering, if you're interested in architecture, how things are made and built and all that, there's a way for you to get into the engineering academy. So I don't know if this is a myth, a barrier, an assumption.
I had these two Latino kids, and they'd come walking into my room because they had to pass the engineering academy. They were pretty good guys, you know. There were some skills they hadn't been taught along the way. They should have, but that was cool. They weren't. They were open to learning it, and I was open to teaching it. So it was working well. And one of them asked me, like, how come every time we walk by those rooms over there, they only have like white and Asian kids in them? And I go, well, it's engineering academy. I guess they got in. And he goes, yeah, they're so much smarter than us. I go, actually, you guys are pretty smart. He was like, no, they just have to be smarter than us. And go, no, you just didn't have the support, background support that got you that. You didn't know about it, you weren't in a position for it, that has nothing to do with your intelligence. He was like, no. One of the kids was like, no, they just have to be smarter than us. And I go, well, okay. But, I can only argue with the kids so much. So one of the engineering kids or architecture kids was in my class, and he didn't like me, we didn't get along, we butted heads. He had caused some issues, and I asked him to come in at lunch, and we were talking about it. And he pretty much told me that he hated me and he hated my class. I said, well,
if you really have issues with me, we're not communicating like this. You write them down on paper and explain to me, what your issues are, so I can look at them. We can try to make a situation that works for both of us.
Man, this kid wrote 2 pages of scathing hate at me. It wasn't even constructive. It wasn't anything I could really work with. It was just attack, which wasn't what I was going for. I was kind of hoping he'd go like,
you do this, and this upsets me, and this is why it upsets me.
And I go, oh, okay, well I can try to avoid X, Y, and Z. Didn't get it at all. He throws it on my desk and he walks out of the room, and I forget what he yelled, but it was essentially like, you suck! Something. He walks off, and I'm like, okay, this is not what I was going for. But it's what I got, mistake. Learning mistake on my part. And there's these 2 kids working on the paper in the back. And one of them, he just starts laughing so hard. And I go, what? And he goes, I didn't believe you, but you're right. I am way smarter than that. And I go, why did you say that? And he goes, well, that kid still has to get ready. And he just told you, you suck. I'm not that stupid. I never tell someone who's about to grade me that I thought they suck. I might think they suck, but I keep it inside. And I go, bingo, that's what I've been trying to tell you all year, that you are smarter.
I get angry so seldom that it's easy for me to remember them all. You know how sometimes you might ask me a question, and I'll give instructions, and a student will raise her hand and ask me to repeat it. Then I'll repeat it, and I'll make it clear again. Then I show it physically, and then I write it on the board. Some poor child, lovely girl, ended going to Harvard. Good kid, really smart. She raised her hand and asked me the question again about what I had just spent, 5 minutes explaining. I don't know why, Erika. I completely lost it. I looked at her, and I was so angry because she wasn't listening that I blew up. And she felt so bad because I kind of ruined her life. And because she came back and she said, Miss Joe, do you like me? And I said, yeah. I was just mad that one day. And I apologized and all that. It was just so stunning for the class because they'd never seen me get mad. And that is where your power is. You don't flip out so that when you do have to get angry, it carries a whole lot more power. So be chill and understanding as you can be, so that when you give the look, that's all you need.
I would tell my high school self, you're right. You're right. The pain that you're feeling, the suffering that you're seeing, you're right to feel that, and you're right to be angry about it. And the beauty that you're seeing, the love, the unity, the pride, the awesome emotion that comes from being in such a loving community that's experiencing such violence and socio-political targeting, and that beauty that you see is the most precious thing ever. And you're right for valuing it. And the thing in high school at the time was, oh, this questioning, like, how am I supposed to view this? Like, how am I supposed to feel about this? And it just would have been so helpful if I would have had me in the future to just say, you're right. You are absolutely right.
Tech sounds like the triumph anthem. So do you want me to say the triumph anthem? In the midst of dropping GPAs. See, it's a call and response. Derek would say it and we would all be standing in formation. but you gotta say exactly what I say back to me, but you gotta try to say it louder. I.
In the midst of dropping GPA.
In the midst of dropping GPA.
Disrespectful display.
And disrespectful